Let's talk about Sudan. So today there have been heavy fighting explosion that rocked the Sudanese capital Khartoum as the paramilitaries, you have heard me right, the paramilitaries, as the paramilitary and the regular army traded attacks on each other's bases. That is days after the army had warned the country that it was at a dangerous turning point.
National calls for calm in Sudan, where at least 3 civilians have been killed and dozens injured amid an outbreak of violence between the army and a powerful paramilitary group.
In other words, Sudan now has two armies fighting for control. One of them is the regular army led by General Abdul Fattah al-Burhan. The other one is the former private army of the dictator al-Bashir, the former president of Sudan. It's a paramilitary, as I said earlier, and it's led by General Mohammed Hamdan, also known as Hemeti. And this RCF, that's what they call it, that is Rapid Support Forces. This paramilitary or private army of the former president rose from the militia that they used to call Janjaweed. This militia rose from the 2000 conflict in the Darfur region. It was being used by al-Bashir to basically suppress people in Darfur who are against the government. Remember, they discovered oil in Darfur and then they created this mercenary army, the Janjaweed, and sent it to Darfur to move these people from where the oil had been discovered. That was the reason why the president Omar al-Bashir was supposed to be taken to the ICC. Remember, there's still an active arrest warrant for him to go to the ICC for those crimes that were committed back in 2000. So that militia from 2000 called the Janjaweed was later renamed to the Rapid Support Forces. And in recent time, it has grown to more than 100,000 fighters. And they are mercenaries because 20,000 of them are currently in Libya fighting for General Haftar. For General Haftar, because in Libya, again, we have like 3 factions. The western faction in Benghazi is led by General Haftar, and he uses these mercenaries from Sudan to fight for him. About 40,000 of these same RCF were active in Yemen fighting for Saudi Arabia. So there were mercenaries fighting the Yemen Houthi rebels on behalf of the Saudi Arabian government. So they were being paid. And I think now that the Saudi Arabian government have decided to end the war in Yemen, they are trying now to divert their attention back home. You have to also understand is that they are loyal to the Omar al-Bashir, the former dictator and tyrant, who is currently in jail. So in recent days, there have been rumors that royalists or people who are loyal, right? People who are loyal to Omar al-Bashir have been mobilizing these mercenaries to try to take control of the country and free him. In other words, they want to free Omar al-Bashir and form a government that is loyal to him. So it's like the dictator wants to come back, and that's why they are fighting, because the regular army was responsible for removing him. And about 4 years down the line, he's using his private army of militias and mercenaries to try to take the country by force. That is what is happening in Sudan at the moment. So it's Omar al-Bashir and people loyal to him from his previous governments, his former government, whichever way you look at it, who are trying to take power in Sudan. So they want to use their former, I don't know whether it's their former or still the current private mercenary militia paramilitary army now to take control of Sudan, free the dictator, and run the country. That is what is happening. In other words, the Sudanese revolution, the Sudanese Arab Spring, if you call it that, has been hijacked. It's going to fail. We know a lot of people died for the cause, and now come to think of it, they died in vain.